What was your secret into convincing Eden Hazard to become a Blue? I don't think you get enough credit for this. I mean, effectively, he's here because of you.
No, I mean, I've seen no money for it, I ain't going to lie. I've seen no money from the club. It was at the time we were playing together at Lille when he was Man United were courting him, Man City were courting him, you know, and we just had chats about, you know, where to go. All the big teams, everyone wanted him, and I just said to him, listen, have you thought about Chelsea, ain't you? And he sort of intimated they was, and I said, I think it's for you. I said, I think you'll settle in London because it's cosmopolitan, but you know, and also I said, listen, if you ever get homesick, you can just jump on the train and you're back in Brussels in 5 minutes. So I think all of it come into it, and he come in. I think he fell in love with the club, he fell in love with London, and I think his family are very settled and he's very happy.
It's worked out all right, hasn't it?
He has. He's done all right.
Let's talk about you. 3 Premier League wins. You won 2 FA Cups. You won a League Cup. Yeah. You played in a Champions League final. Yet when you retired, and we spoke about this earlier, among all the lovely articles about what a brilliant talent Joe Cole was and how wonderful he was to watch football, there was articles saying Joe Cole just didn't fulfil his potential. When you look at that list of things that you won in your career, where does that come from?
I think it comes from... so when I was coming through, there was a lot of expectations on me. So if I was to live up to all the expectations, then I would have won 3 World Cups or 3 Champions League, because it wasn't realistic. You know, people were putting that on me, a young man who's never even stepped out. There were so many hurdles I needed to get over to become a player. I think it come from the fact that I think I was a little bit different. Players are more similar to the way I play now in terms of, you know, getting a ball, receiving it, dribbling, twisting and turning. I think the reason I was a little bit, not a top player, a better player, was I was different because I didn't actually play for a team in any organised game until I was nearly 11, which is so unusual. I was a playground footballer who played with freedom. So I think people got excited about the fact that I was different.
Do you think that when you come to Chelsea, because at West Ham I was obviously hearing and seeing Joey come through. And
do you remember what you first heard about Joe as he was starting to emerge?
Yeah, just like, we used to call him the conjurer. He should conjure up magic. He was brilliant. He'd come and train with the first team when he was about 15, I think he was, 14, 15 years old. Played a 2-touch training game type thing, 8 aside, and he mesmerised the first team. And you got seasoned pros and seasoned vets there. But I'm just saying, when you came to Chelsea, do you think Mourinho, you won stuff with him, but do you think he knocked a little bit of that, the imagination and the freedom to play a little bit out of you?
Yeah, he did in a sense. But at that time, when he come, Jose, the first season I'd played 50 games under Ranieri, 25 as sub, 25 starts. So, and we finished, you know, I was like, hadn't really found my feet. And Jose come in and changed the position, my position more as an out-and-out winger, someone who was going to get crosses in and try and beat men and then coming in. And I think I learned so much, and I just wanted to connect into a team where I could win things, and I didn't want to finish my career not having anything in my pocket, you know, because as much as I'm a free spirit and I love playing football and I still love the game now and I love skills and everything, I wanted to win things. There's nothing better than coming into the dressing room after and winning things.
And made you a better team player then, yeah?
Made me definitely better team player, more understanding, and it also stimulated my love of coaching and that, because I've seen the changes and I learned so much. But yeah, possibly was less of a, I didn't like the word show pony, but maybe that is Maverick, yeah, something like that. Someone who maybe excites the crowds, but
I still remember you scoring a winner against Liverpool and Jose afterwards doing an interview and saying, defensively he's got to improve. And I was thinking, he's just won the game for you.
Yeah, and you know, it'd be interesting if I ever get the chance to see Jose again and talk to him about that, because I felt that was him thinking 3 steps ahead, because I think I'd come into the team, scored the goal, and you expect to start the next game, and maybe he had a different idea tactically, and he wanted to give me a little bit of a smack bum, like, just listen, you great, you scored the winner, we've won the game, massive game, but you need to improve at this. He constantly pushed me, and I felt at that time I bought into his image and what he wanted from me as a player, and I was just so desperate to please him. I literally would have done anything, and I think that was the genius of him. He knew what I needed. Whereas with I think with Frank, I remember him saying to Frank once, who was an incredible player, like, you're the best midfielder in the world. And maybe no one had ever said that to Frank. And Frank went from there to there. So he had two different ways of dealing with two different
Did you
characters.
ever get that from him?
No.
Awkward question.
Nice. The best player in training.
Once in that second season, the same season you're talking about, I scored the winner up at Anfield as well, and it was the only time he come on the back of the coach. We must have been playing cards or something. And the nicest thing he's ever said to me was, "Boy, you've done enough. You'll be playing next week." And I thought, "Oh, that'll do me." But that was the nicest thing. But listen, we have a great relationship now, and I learnt so much. And I had some of the most successful times in my career. Like, I really cherish them. Really, really do.
And a crazy time to join Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
What was that like? You probably signed in the Butcher's Hook over the road, the little pub there or something.
Yeah, I mean, it was like Rio would tell you about West Ham, and West Ham was a club that was very much caught in maybe 10 years behind that at that time, and so was Chelsea behind the scenes. Like we talked about Haaland in the training ground, and you coming in, and it seemed to be every day there was a new player coming in. Mutu, Damien Duff, Jeremy, like all these players from big clubs, and it was just like collecting them and all put them together and right, go and be a team. And it was just a great, exciting feel to it.
And what was that like to try and connect in with so many new players so quickly?
It was amazing. I mean, I was like, when I remember seeing Marcel Desailly and walking in and just thinking, like, I remember watching this guy in the Champions League final in '93, and then all of a sudden I'm playing. First thing I'm asking him about, I was like a kid myself. What's it like? Because I don't think kids do that enough. Ask questions. I was asking him constantly every day. What was Zidane like? What did he do? What sort of things did he do in training? What was the World Cup like? And I like that when youngsters ask me questions, because as I've seen, when you get older and you become a senior player, you don't feel like you want to, I've done this and I've done that and start the stories. But I like to help the young players. I like them to ask me questions. And I must have drove him mad. Yeah, he didn't talk to me much after that. I was like an interviewer.
You'll be the person with young lads asking you questions with your new job. Loads of questions actually coming in for you. Charlie says, Joe, what was better, scoring the goal in the win against Man United to pretty much secure the league, or that screamer in the World Cup against Sweden?
I think the goal at Man United.
You're out of order. It's against me.
Yeah, because he was against. No, because I'll tell you why. Because on that particular day, I had a lot of my family here, to share it with, and you always want to do a bit more. When I had like 20, 30 tickets, and it was a beautiful day, and it meant we'd won the title, and we had a right good night out afterwards. So it was
That's
lovely.
what it's all about.
But at the World Cup, you scored a goal,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. And then you're straight back to the hotel, playing on the PlayStation, usually like carving up Rio or something.